Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm Nick. Welcome to another art stream. Just got dingled. Uh, that was in my ear. I don't know about yours. I know. I'm being secretive about it. Today we're doing art. Let's see here. I had to adjust my whole camera, my top-down camera, because I winged it with my arm because I'm tall, even though it's all the way up there. Here, look. This is about right in front of me. Okay, passing eye level. I gotta turn the point. Um, Last week we did. Let's see here. We just jump right to this. Ooh, hey, how would I do it this way? Yeah, it's about right. Last week we worked on these or this page over here with the 3-point computer. That's fine. This week we're working on these. Now, okay. In my mind, right? When I'm looking at these, this and this really feels like it could be one page. Um, because it is, first of all, I'm like rearranging this whole thing. I'm making edits. There's some things to do here. Um, Mainly, this is the establishing shot, so it should come first. To let us know that that's the exit door, I'm going to put a little exit sign on it. This says authority figure. There has to be some way that I can say that without like labeling it. Give him, I don't know, a school ID badge or something. Tuck in his shirt. Uh, I need to double check this because, like, I believe this was another character based on actual person of authority in my high school. It's funny because like all the teachers, so I guess him and him, they were based on like actual authority figures I had, but none of the friends, none of the people were based on people I know because um uh what they used to say was I'm an old soul, which means I never really got along with the people my age. It was always the people who were older than me. Um Except I didn't really get along with them either because I was young and there's a level of naivete and inexperience that comes with that, which means I didn't fit there either. I've always been somewhat alone. I'm not trying to be a bummer here. This is just what we're doing. I am being heard, right? Okay. I need some music. This is very, it is so like gray outside. And I just really want to chill. So let's put on Sandy, which was a playlist I made while sitting out Hurricane Sandy, which was not bad for us, but it did make everything stormy. And I'm just gonna sit in this vibe today. Now then. So the thing is, yeah, so it's establish, he rummages for a smoke grenade. Because gag that he would just carry around smoke grenades. Um Although it kind of works here that it gets revealed that it's a smoke grenade. Um, I need to do a better job doing a smoke grenade. It should be bigger so that's more apparent that that's an obvious thing. This is going to be, I think, one of the few times when I'm going to do a thick outline on an object inside another thick outlined object, subject, whatever. This is just a smoke cloud. I don't know if I could do a better smoke cloud. Then it goes from here into, shot of the outside, bursting through the door, smoke cloud behind, and then this big disestablishing shot, I guess. Um in a weird way, I was kind of like proud of this. I think this was one of the first times I really did a like um I mean, yeah, just flipping through this, I never did a big establishing shot before. Yeah, I can only think of. There's another like really memorable establishing shot. Yeah, this is the closest we came was like this shot, and that doesn't count. Um, so I was always very proud of this. So, and on the one hand, I don't want to mess with it too much. I just want to do the usual thing of just like redrawing over this. It might need some more work. There is a again, this is based on like the actual view when I was leaving school, right? We did have this sort of like farm silo that was at an opposite corner to the school grounds. Um I don't know if I want to keep this because the whole thing is like he lives in, and so much of this takes place in city, right? Here, hang on. But when we get here later, it's they are trying to walk back through this desert to a city. No bridge there, man. See, but then that's the other part is having a never truly defined geography also kind of a good gag, kind of the way Simpsons take place in Springfield, but they always like went out of their way to never define which Springfield, even though I think they did eventually say it, which is a cop out, but whatever. Um but like because of shots like this, what we are establishing is that it's like, okay, it is a city next to like some kind of featureless desert kind of thing, which I don't know. I feel like it featureless. Okay, it had one feature, and then we kind of blew it up, um, by playing video games. What we do. Video games are here. Video games are here. Stuff is going on here. Stuff's going on there. Boy, how did I make that one look? I didn't draw in the wob. This is still very loud on my ears. That's weird. Okay. Um. Right, but so we're going back to this. So like maps, because maps. Center in front of me is about there. So, let's see here. Yeah, this should show up nice and clear, right? Things, okay? Let's call. Because I think what it is we have like vaguely put, we have city here. And I think in much, much later, let's see here. Yeah, much, much later when we look here, we see like, okay, it's very city. There's a bridge. Um, Yeah, one of these last ones is we know that they're sort of water, so it's the kind of waterfront. Um, yeah. So things we know is that it's city, and I'm gonna say he's kind of here. Generally speaking, city, it's here. There's at least one bridge. I think there might be another one. There's also this is a lot of water, right? But now we also know that like somewhere over here is like desert with a line leading into the city, right? maybe city also goes up there, like, cause like it's kind of New York because New York is what I know, right? Which means that like I think maybe over this way is like this is where maybe one of the bridges goes over there. This one might lead to another piece of down here. So maybe city is more like. I mean, it look at almost any map and you'll see that like along a river, cities are always right up against it. Is this Jersey? Should I bring Jersey in? This is just the city, a city, never named. This one's Jersey. That one can be Jersey. I like that. Sort of the evil twin across the river. But yeah, like if we have this sort of, and then like this is all desert out here. Do we have? But what this is suggesting, right, is that you have silos. That means you have farms. That means you have some sort of farmland, obviously. Uh, where would that be on this map? Um, it's not even necessarily desert, but it's uh markless, featureless desert. Okay. Um, but more than that, schools. How do schools work? Thank you. I did a thesis on that partially. Um, generally, a school covers an area. I think more based on population density, right? Because ideally, you have like one building, one staff that can handle X number of students, cycling in and out through grades. And then, you know, you say, okay, this can handle this many, we plump it here, and then we see what is a sort of zone that can cover that can have that many students, and then you plonk down more in higher population density areas. There are more schools closer together. Um, but in farmland, like unless somehow this is like farmland directly adjacent to the city. So there was just like a little piece of city that was left over from the other school coverings that then also had a whole bunch of farmland. But it wouldn't make sense for it to be here. Um farm where does farmland go? Okay, let's talk about the planet Earth. Oh, am I good or bad at this? I have trouble telling, right? All right, here's Earth. This is the equator, which I'm going to say is too hot, just in general. And then we have for Arctic and Antarctic. I might have those reversed. But either way, it means bears and no bears, and both of them are too cold. Um, right. Okay. Uh, kind of for anything. Here's the thing. I think all right, let's talk about Darwin. Talk about half the planet, because since it's a sphere, it's sort of symmetrical. Okay, let's talk about half the planet. Um, too hot, too cold, which means over here we actually have uh now this creates sort of a gradient, right? Which I think in here you end up with kind of a butter zone. Uh because it's not really the best planet, butter zone. Um and then we have cool and warm, right? And then you 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 flip it for the other side, you know, uh, more or less. And so here we go. Can I do this off screen? I right click here, new window. You're over there. Let's talk about. Help if I could spell it right. Just take me out to uh, Google Earth. Google Earth instead. Is that still a thing that exists? Can we go there? So here's the Earth, and I know what you're thinking. Damn, that Earth all right, butter zone, etc., etc. Um, show me. Can we? Okay. How far out will this let us go? Hey, what's that over there? I want to go there. Okay, but you want to say this is Africa? Yes. I'm not saying I'm good at this. We're learning together. But like, yeah, you can kind of see, right? Here. So I'm going to say around here is kind of our equator because that's where it becomes desert. That's where it becomes too hot. And then over here in our butter zone is very green. And then, wow, what is it like here in Madagascar? It's not just about that because honestly, ideal conditions also have a lot to do with uh or temperatures get altered by air flow. So the uh air currents can bring warm and cool air to different places based around where water is versus where land is, because earth and land have different specific temperatures. That's a thing, right? Here, you're cold. Which one are you? Ooh, why are you colored different? That's Concordia Station. These are stations. Um, God, is this Arctic or Antarctic? I'm dumb. Please help me. I'm dumb. My family, she's dumbing. See, that's what I thought, but I just know it means bears and not bears. Wait, it's really about the constellations? I thought it was about actually like polar bears. Yeah. Okay. That's green. Wait. Also, isn't there a thing that like the actual North Pole is in the middle of water somewhere? Hmm? Just take me to 0. Where's 0? VLC, you good? Okay.
Recording booth, let me in.
Oh my god. Okay.
That's my voice. I just want to.
Yeah, hang on. Hey, you're on the air.
Hello. Long time listener, first time caller. Um, I just wanted to weigh in on the poll situation. So we of course have geographical north, which is where you would expect north to be. It's at the top of the globe where all the lines meet up nice and neatly.
That's the problem that I'm having. Is this map? I wanted to show me like latitude and longitude so I can track that stuff. But, oh wait, layers? Clean exploration. Everything. No, it's not doing it. Additional 3D building, time lapse photos, custom. Oh boy. Wow, you can do a lot here, huh? Okay, let's just okay. Animated clouds. Wow. Still not helping. Okay, sorry. Go on.
Yes. And then magnetic north wobbles around a little bit.
Right.
But also and so it's like it it travels kind of around the vague direction of the North Pole. But then also we have like the common knowledge of the North Star being where like true north is.
Yeah.
So the
Fun.
Earth is actually kind of wobbling a little bit like a top.
Yeah.
So there's actually like 3 stars that it points at over time.
Okay.
So we're like currently in where it's pointing mostly at Polaris
Wait, where
as the North
is?
Star, but it wobbles a little bit.
Wow, Alaska almost touches Russia?
Yeah.
I didn't realize. This is what you get by looking at the Mercator projection.
I
That's the
forget which
square
ones
map
are
that we
named.
usually use, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Oh, I've really twisted it now. How do I? Oh gosh, please help me. Here, reset to north. Okay. Here, where the north is? Where's it flip? All right, North Pole is around here somewhere. Because this is where the little compass is in the corner. All right, so this is about the North Pole. I don't think there are bears at the North Pole because there's no land at the North Pole.
It's all ice.
Not no more, it ain't. Not on this map, it ain't. I'm looking. Nah, it's just blue.
Polar bears can swim.
Sorry.
Also, they live on the ice.
Okay. What was my point? Right, my point was I'm talking about like climate zones.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at a lot of like, here, you can kind of see like New York. See the weird thing to me is that California is lower than New York, but still kind of, far enough above the equator. Where does the equator hit in the Americas? That's kind of around.
Doesn't.
What do you mean?
Oh, it's down like Central America.
Right. That's one of the Americas, but like that's what is this? So kind of around Cuba over here. I really wish this had latitude lines. This is what I need to do. But like when you just sort of like spin around, you see that's also not that far off from uh the desert, the African desert zone, all the sandy bits. Because it's just like, yeah, that's where everything is too hot. And
yeah, it's like really cool mix between like where the sun shines a lot, but also how the land masses themselves kind of affect the flow of like the jet streams and stuff like that.
yeah, I was already talking about that a bit.
Yeah. All right, I'll duck out and let you get back to what you're doing.
No, because this is what I'm doing. Is I'm just kind of theory crafting about locations right now.
Uh-huh. Oh, I do know. There's a really good world building channel that I follow on YouTube that specifically talks about like making maps and like considering different things when you're building a map.
Yeah.
I believe they're called Artifexian. Um, but they're cool and you should check them out if you're interested in building general world maps for creating things.
Okay. Um, sorry, I'm thinking about a lot.
Yep.
Because like specifically, like I'm in sort of like a fictionalized New York, right?
Hmm.
Because like that's the thing. You look at it and like the city is down here. Oh, it's all yellow. Um, but like when I think of New York, I'm thinking kind of so like this is Manhattan. This is where your skyscrapers and such are. Oh, it's gonna try to render. Oh, poor baby, you're gonna try and render. There we go. Oh, um, right. So like in a very vague sense, kind of here, like southern Manhattan is what I'm thinking of for the city, because this is kind of what you think about. There's a lot of there's like waves of skyscraper in New York. Um, but this you kind of have this like surrounded, well, because Manhattan's an island, you see. I don't necessarily need that. Like I'm kind of, if you skip the East River over here and you kind of, isn't this the Hudson? Is this not the Hudson? It's showing the New York New Jersey border. But yeah, like this is what I'm saying. So like you have this sort of vague. There's okay, yeah. This is even kind of what I'm talking about with my. I can't like that's why I have sort of the two bridge solution, because that's kind of what you have here, where you have the bridges that go from Manhattan into Brooklyn and Queens. And you also have, well, that's about the Lincoln Tunnel. Do we really not have like a bridge into? Here we go. There's the bridge into Jersey. Is what bridge is that? Not the GW. No. Is it? Which bridge is this? These things are not important. But yeah, oh, it's Governor Cuomo Bridge. All right. Right? But so like when I think vague city, here's what I'm kind of thinking. It's like all of this, maybe some Jersey is out there, but maybe this is more like if you took this bit and moved it a bit more down here, so that way it's like, oh, we have this big expanse, there's a bit of Jersey, maybe it goes down a bit more. But again, I'm fictionalizing it. What is all of this though? Why is that so wet? Oh, I've never noticed that before. That's, I believe this is Long Island, because it's well, the whole thing is Long Island, but man, places are weird. Um, but right, so when you're looking at this, like I want to say this is just don't worry about that. No, please. Let's just clean it up. No, please get the orange away. Please. Please. There, thank you. All right, show me the buildings, but not the. There we go. This is looking better. Okay. Um like when you look at this here in New York, you don't really go south, right? Because you hit water. Or you do, and then you end up in, this is that more Jersey? No, that's Maryland. Okay, there's a bunch of Jersey, and then you hit Maryland. No, isn't this? I'm so bad at this. Pennsylvania. All right, fine. Yeah, no, Jersey's up here. No, this is New York. Okay, no. Okay, this bit is Jersey, then this is Jersey is this stupid strip right down here, and then you got Philadelphia. Wait, Philly and Trenton are near each other? Huh. Anyway, um, but so you have like a lot of dense urban here, right? As we sort of stay kind of by the waters, definitely staying along the rivers. Um, and we get into like this is a lot of our farmland, but again, not actually all of it, because we also hit. Um, there's mountain ranges up in here, and mountain ranges aren't, you can farm on them, but they're not the best. So you do want like there's a lot of like farms up around in here, right? So like if you're from a city and you're vaguely around New York, um, like north is where you would go to start seeing farmland. So like this school could be, even sort of like White Plains ish, right? Um, which would be north. Depending on what the rest of this landmass, depending on what the rest of this landmass looks like it could be that. Well, that's the thing. A lot of the farmland you get, I think it's going to be actually like, well, like it's a mix, right? Because that's a lot why big cities pop up around rivers is because that's natural irrigation that creates a lot of fertile land that creates farmland. What is it, the Tigris and Euphrates, the classic, um, the fertile crescent of lore. Yeah, all right, make that go away. Make that go away. Um, yeah, New York, California. California is a little southerner, and like, California is really tall. So you think about it, like up here in sort of North Cali, it's very similar, very butter zone. As you get more south, you get way hotter, especially, when you get to Arizona. Arizona is where you go to get baked. At least if you're any of my relatives who have moved out there. Man, it's just all over here is not pleasant looking. Here, I like a little deep green. That's where I like to be. I see, even over here where it starts to get, see, and then you go too high and it's too cold. It's like, you're not really gonna farm well here. Man, Greenland is icy and Iceland is mostly green. That's weird. It's a joke. I'm not doing any drawing so far. This is really funny. Um, I'm calling it funny. So yeah, I guess if this is supposed to be New Yorkish, any direction away from the city would end up becoming farmland. It's definitely not done that way. But it's desert. That's the weird thing. So maybe that's what it is, right? Because this is kind of New Yorkish. A desert would be. Maybe that's like actually what it is. Is it's more like. Right? We're going this way. Say we got Jersey, um, point down. If we got a little bit, I don't think you would make that bridge that way. You would run a ferry like that. Um, Jersey. Maybe the city is like, right? Maybe this is desert. That's the desert road that they take. And then up here could be farmy, right? Because even if this is kind of butter zone, you're going to get warmer going south and you're going to stay okay up there. It's if we're near a desert, it's going to be closer to fine than it is to, like, when you're in the middle of butter zone, you're kind of all butter. Like, even for the size of a city, it's all butter. Um, you know, like even this whole zone, it's hard to find anything in here that isn't fine. Again, you want to talk about California? It's like, okay, well, we can go from fine to hot, but we have multiple cities here without seeing any cold. Like, so it's just like, okay, where's the hot part? All right, the rest of it's fine. It's not till we get up here to, yeah, Seattle and Vancouver and we start going north, then we're like, okay, here And we took a trip out to Seattle once. It was really nice. I really enjoyed that. But like, yeah, you get over here and you're just like, okay, this is you go from butter zone to too cold. You know, it's really like even here, like we start Nevada. Nevada's kind of big. Here's Las Vegas. That's definitely it's closer to Arizona than it is to Oregon.
So if we're looking at the United States from west to east, you have the West Coast, which northern wise is a lot of like kind of actually technically I think tropical or not tropical rainforest kind of zone. And then since the jet stream flows from west to east, we get all of the air coming in from over the ocean, and then it hits the Rockies, which makes it so it drops all the rain and stuff, which is why we have desert on the other side of the Rockies.
Yeah. Wait, where is the Rockies then? Is that because looking at this satellite data, there's basically two zones because it's like it's nice in California, and then it gets nasty going into Nevada and Arizona.
Yeah, this is the Rockies.
But then the Rockies is this. Oh, that's all the Rockies.
Yeah.
Okay. Because then on the other side of that, when you hit like Nebraska and Kansas, that's where it just gets boring.
Where it's flat, but we have a lot of the Mississippi River and stuff. You get a lot of river deltas and stuff sustain it, so it's really good for agriculture.
But it's not nearly as much water as over here by lake.
Not
These are all the Great Lakes, right?
Like, again, this is good for irrigation because it's rivers and tributaries. It's not
right.
A lot of water in one space. It's spread out.
But that's the thing. That's why you kind of get farmland. The thing about big cities is it's not just that it was like it kind of starts with farmland, but it's also because before cars, water was like your main trade route, so they became port cities. Yes, cities became developed way faster because it was easier to ship over water. That's why it's called shipping.
Yeah, I suppose. And then we have the Appalachian Mountains over here, which are a lot older.
Would you like to make a PowerPoint?
Kind of. I would.
That's just a general truth.
But yeah, like they're a lot older and they're not as tall as the Rockies. They're kind of like round instead of pointy at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And because the Rockies are so old, they're they're basically a lot of like sedimentary rock, which was like from the bottom of ocean stuff. Now we're at the bottom layers of it because it's been worn down over time. So we have a lot of very sandy soil that's good for things like white pines. So we have like white pines. But why it's harder to grow other things.
Okay, but I think I got my answer, which is that the desert is kind of south of the city, but it would have to be southeast because this is where like I'm trying not to develop too far out until like the story needs us to get out somewhere. So just this idea of just like, okay, we have city, it's by the waterside, then there's a desert connected to it, and there can be kind of farmland connected to it. And like if desert's going to happen, it's going to be a bit more southerly because it is sort of New York inspired than it is a northern to the equator. So desert ends up heading south of it. But also, who cares? Because the fact of whether this area is landlocked or how far in that goes or whatever, who cares? It's like this. But okay, again, that being said, here if we're saying he lives sort of over here, the idea that he would have a school up there makes no sense for how dense the population would be. Like a school zone around this would have more of the farmland, very little of the city, just because of, again, it would have to be like leftovers of the city, or it would have to be the kind of thing that was created before the city developed into it, and then they would have had to open up more schools, something like that. I don't know. But so the point of all this being, I think I have to change this scene, because where would this be? Now, that being said, I think, again, for the idea of, see, I don't want to change it because I'm kind of proud of it, or I remember being proud of it. That's one of those things. Like, do old awards don't become moot when new awards are given, right? Like, other movies have won Oscars over time. It's not like the old ones don't have Oscars anymore, you know? Um, there is just sort of an asterisk of time, the ultimate asterisk. Um, What's going on here? Did I get a drop? Hey, great. Um, ba, 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 ba. Um, but this would be what? So like if the city's there, this could be. I'm thinking this has to be like another water, right? Like this could be buildings. Um, right? Like this could be this. This could be some sort of building over here. I don't know, windows. Buildings have windows, right? Um, this can still be a school bus. There could still be a car here, but this is where I start getting to the point of like, okay, well, do I make it like a real car? At the very least, I know more about what the underside of a car looks like now. Like that could be a not a diffuser. That has to do with usually like nose aerodynamics on the front fender. It's not a distributor. That has to do with the electric system and the ignition system in the engine. It's a differential. It would be the differential. Like that could be a differential, but that's not what a not what that part would look like. Um, so I could adjust that now, and then maybe there's like another couple of buildings out here because that's all the ground then. But then for that, we could have like, yeah, bridge in the background like that. Maybe little clouds. So I'll probably change it to something like that. So that one might end up being far more elaborate of a redraw, right? So that was also the other big point of all of this is in deciding the point about going to what's that fool's name with the finches? Darwin. The point about going to Darwin is that like things have the easiest time living in butter zones. So I think sort of by nature, butter zones are the most populated. Like here again, looking at Africa, I think you hear more about South Africans than overall Africans, or at least I feel like I do. I don't know shit. Um, but this part where it's green, I would have to imagine that this is just a little more, could be more populated in general, just because it's the kinder climate to live in a way. Um, Not that nothing lives out here, but like Darwin would say that because it's harder to live out here, um, there is more room for species to develop specific. You can't see the computer I'm looking at. What if I had more screens? Oh boy. Uh, the harsher climates have more sort of space in them for species to. If you can't win at taking the resources in the populated area, then you adapt and start taking resources in the less populated area. You know, you put yourself in a smaller pond, and then suddenly, relatively, you become a bigger fish. Um, then it rushes over here and is like big. And Japan's over here. Okay, I need to stop looking at that, especially since you can't see it. Okay. Um, Here's the actual thing. I was one. That panel was a question onto itself. The rest of it, I feel like, just needs a little bit of sort of compositional work, so that way the composition helps with the storytelling on top of the individual images. There's something about here. That's about that screen, right? Good. Let's see here. Wolfenstein 3D. I don't know if I did this on purpose, but uh, where is it? Can I just drag this over? No, of course not. Let's see here. I do it this way. I do it this way. Yes. There's something. I don't know if I did it on purpose, but there's definitely something resonant between these two, right? Um, don't know if I did that on purpose. This was so many years here. Do I have any mark about how long ago this was? This was 20 years ago ish. You know, um, I would have made a Wolfenstein 3D reference then for sure. Or even if it wasn't an explicit reference, the inspiration for this might have come from this because I would have seen this and it would have made me think like, okay, how do you show somebody sneaking around? And it is by doing the Wolf 3D title screen. That's how you show somebody sneaking around, and thus that's what I did. Hey, what if I? What if? Follow me here. What if I just use this as the reference instead? No, that's fine. That's just very funny to me. I'm just gonna leave that on the side because that's very funny. No, the real question: do I want to combine these? Because I think there is. It's a twofold question, right? Because on the one hand, writing this as a webcomic, writing the snow one page release at a time, I was very much working in the element of okay, each page has to have its thing, and it's either like a story reveal or a joke or at least a piece of art. Like that's here when we look at these, it's triple. They're essentially comic strips because the idea is there's a joke in each of them. This one also, well, when I finally did it, it had sort of a oh yeah, these were all written pretty much as like strips. This had a bit more character introduction, but still gags. This still had gag. These were still all like gag per page. And so when it comes down to this, I think the idea was like this here, the idea of smoke grenade in his face is the gag of the page. Hi, Rue. And then you missed talking about uh, 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 latitude lines and Darwin and the Rockies and etc. And then yeah, so this was a gag page, and then this was sort of a story beat slash big art moment. I think I tried to combine those. I think it's okay to combine those because then a big piece of image, a big piece of image, big pizza image, not better, just bigger. Baba John's. And then this one too. This one is not about this one is not a gag. This one is an establishing shot. The image is the setup, is the important part. A lot of times the what do you call it? The offering of the page, right? Up until this point, it's pretty much always been gag. But then when we get here, it is about like scenic image and story beat and establishing shots, which means it's also partly world building. And then we get back to joke. I'm not gonna make this a. I'll probably do another square 4 panel like that, but I'll just make them tall panels. Bunny. That's a good bunny. Or I could add more panels, so it's just more of him walking along. Ah, that's funny. Yeah, see, this is another good. This will be another good one because another draw it once and then uh, just little modifications to play it out. Um, yeah, I think to keep in that spirit, this will still be 2 pages. Because the other thing is, if I combine these into one page, I could do that, but then that page is way more complex. The right hand page as is only 3 panels, and that speaks to the very lazy soul inside my heart. Okay, so I think we've, years later we finally answered this question of what are we doing? We are leaving You're leaving these spaces separate. That's going to become sort of a waterfront, more urban thing. But we're not even worrying about that today. How long have I been sitting? I've spent almost an hour, and I'm still just okay. Why are we dropping so many? Is Twitch just having trouble? Is it not even us? Is it? Do I really got to change my this new recording setting that I'm using? Really?
Yeah, because I was doing that.
Yeah.
Is it because your dad switched the internet stuff?
It could be, but we're supposed to have better upload on the internet stuff.
You know, I mean, the other day when it went down.
Oh no, I don't think so. Who knows? Um. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take these panels. We are going to adjust them because it really is just this. I really did just do that, huh? That's so funny to me. It's man, I used to be funny. Um, have I done? We did do revised bag digging panels, right? Wasn't that one? It was this one. There's a part of me that just wants to re-grab this panel because the idea of he just has wacky stuff in his bag. Wacky, I guess, more being unexpected to more science fiction fantastical items. Uh, I'll include smoke grenade in there. Um, that was always sort of meant as a recurring gag. No, yes, hi. So I think this will be like that. This will be. I want this one to be. I think these about the same size. I don't think we need that much leg. Because this is the big. This should be 3 panels. This should be 3 panels because we want to move into an establishment of he's standing there, just sort of bored and idling. Then the smoke grenade comes in, then it pops, right? These. Maybe we can get a little more leg in here because at this point, the thing I'm looking at is maybe not, right? Because really, I'm going to say concern, that's not really the right word, is that, how much of the page do these take up, right? Because in a weird way, these are different scenes because this is the scene and we're watching it from LC's angle and he's doing his whatever. And then in here we are switching to his perception, just what he sees, and it's boredom, confusing, puff. Should I do this the other way? Should this one be the smaller one than the other two? Big old pop. And maybe that works out. So like there's almost like I feel like there's definitely going to be a hard sideways break here, right? That is the boulevard of the gutters. Where can I grab? Oops, don't need that one. Hey, what's up? Let's see here. If I bring up here, you having trouble running? Here we go. And I want to look at all the way over here. Tell me about my comics, specifically Aloof, specifically our redraws. Tell me about just this one? Yeah. So I want that, right? Nope, it's still posting that. Okay, well. Is it because I need to be on the layer that's awake? Yes. Okay, right? This one I also want to make the window itself cyan, and then the image file placed into it I want to be set to screen, so that way it's cyan except for where it's. Yeah, that's good. Did I make a different light blue? No, because I think actually the thing to do is, because it's the joke, but we do already know the joke is basically the thing, so we can actually abbreviate this panel, and people should still understand what they're looking at because it's recalling to what we've done before. Except we can have a little more room here. I would kind of like to get up to the elbow again. I'm definitely gonna like actually draw it again for the sake of uh uh uh. I do like each page to be a standalone, so I'll do a copy and paste joke within a page, but you know, I want it to be fresh from that one. So like maybe when I'm making, I'll give it a little freshen up to it. Here, let's bring this in, bring this up. Because now I'm looking over here, and over here we're just going to pull up a smoke grenade, and that is going to be a brand new panel that I'm going to have to introduce. Actually, very much the way this was a brand new panel, right? I mean, unless I do want to try to use this, that is not how arms works. Is kind of the well, I mean, I guess if he's like going in this way, kind of, but why would is it? Ow, ow! It doesn't quite work. Um, yeah, I don't know if I could turn that one. Right, a little lighter here, because the way that would go is more like this bag would be over here, and he'd probably be grabbing it with this hand and digging in it with this hand. Yeah, like it would not come all the way over, is the thing. It'd be more like this. Right? Right, and then this would have to be under there and up. Well, what the heck? That would kind of drag it, wouldn't it? But yeah, it would be a lot more like that, which, like, I mean, I guess here's kind of the question because clearly I can redraw it in a way that makes sense. Or I know how to, I know now how to draw so that it would make more sense, look more natural. Um, yeah, like that. And it would kind of match more with his pose there. But yeah, also he doesn't even have it over the right shoulder in that one, which is kind of incredible because they were right next to each other, the left hand and the right hand. How do I get that wrong when they're because I do so much as afterthoughts? Um, I don't know. Do I use the old version, which I wouldn't actually use? I would probably use something further off of that, like this, or do I call back to this one that I've done for the sake of redraws already? Right. I think that's it. I think that's the way that it's gonna go. Let's add boxes. I can print out boxes. I did say I wanted to put ink on. Well, I have put plenty of ink on page. It's just all been in sketches and conceptual stuff. See here. Does anybody remember how to do this next step? First of all, I grab a box. Grab it from here. This is gonna go here. Then here. And then down here. What does a smoke grenade look like? Yeah, I guess that's what smoke grenades look like. Okay, but how many are based on how many of these are actual smoke grenades, and how many of them are I'm looking at screenshots from video games? Smoke grenades. Fire pole smoke. Huh. Yeah, I feel like I want like that one there. See, because also the other funny for something like this, right? Is I think the idea is you have to push the handle down, which then lets you release the pin, which then when you let go, the handle flies off, right? That's usually how these work. I feel like I'm going to be put on a list for looking at these. Let's see here. I mean, is this just what I'm doing? Let's do it the same, I guess. And then inside, we will go with. Like, I want it to be screen. Ugh. I also want it to be black and white. Is the thing. Okay? So give me this. Right now we do that. Now we can blow this out. Right. For that matter, we can blow these out. No. That, yeah, here we go. Push that. Now, when we do this, a lot more of what we're looking for. Technically, extremely technically. Because this is kind of just going to be in his hand when he pulls it out, which the way you would grip that is probably thumb on the handle, right? Which if it's going in there like that, put that in there. And then when this gets chucked, it'll be this way. See, now I don't actually need to blow it up to much bigger of a size because we have seen it close up and we kind of understand what's going on. This will go like this. The handle will be flying off. Yeah. That's kind of what we're looking for. You and you are also going to lock. This one and here, 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 here. And this one actually tucks in over here. And then all of these are going to stretch out to meet that, more or less. Or do I want them to be a little more down? I think I want them to be a little more down, right? This is the bigger, I don't even want to say issue. It is simply the bigger focus is the word I'm looking for. Now then, where are my better guides? Things we know. There's going to be one gutter up here. Oops. So we'll bring that down there. This one will also come there, except this one side gets a second gutter. So you'll go down there. And then sideways. Here we're getting one gutter. And here we are getting two gutters. So now that we've done that, smooth extremities up to margins. Space U. Oh, you two I did not actually switch to your new size. That's fine. Top left. Top right. This one we'll need down with that. There you go. Nicely spaced gutters. Title. This is going to be 9, which is called. I'm going to put my book down. According to this, 9 is called Escape Part 1, and 10 is called Left. I probably changed it for the website. Escape. Left. Right? Right. Also, you are 10. Hey, we'll be at 10 remade soon. As though any of these have finished being remade yet. Alright, good. No, this is feeling good. Let's hit us. Page 10. No, page 9 is on page 10. Because page 1 is blank. Did I do that on purpose? Probably. Right, I want to print just page 10 today. Fine. No, we don't want color automatically. Enter default type. Sure, that's an option we have. Now we listen for the print. Hear it. Ugh. Boy, that grenade came out very blue. Ugh. I want to talk about this guy before we start inking this, right? Carpenter's pencil. Why not? John Carpenter's pencil. Hmm. Just bring it in. Bring it in, right? This guy is a dork, and an adult dork. Fully mature Dorcas. Really, to me, his key feature is. See, it's not exactly a buzz cut. The end. No. But it is a very, like, neat, orderly, no hair in the face kind of haircut. Um, like, this is someone who goes and gets their haircut cleaned up every now and then. I think the glasses are actually the dorkiest thing because they are these big. Man, I don't know how to describe it other than nerd glasses. Like big, boxy, thick frames. They would not look out of place with some tape on the nose bridge. It's kind of a Rick Grimes. Sorry, Frank Grimes. Thank you. These are brothers now. Yeah. This is the kind of dork he is. This is. Wow, this one's just called Gay Egg. The very dead Frank Grimes is coming. Back to Simpsons. Okay. Yeah, okay, this guy is basically just Frank Grimes, is what I've done here. I didn't mean to do that. I don't know how I feel about his hair, like, tucking right in behind the ear. I always end up putting, like, oh, y'all didn't get to see that. Frank Grimes. The Simpsons is Frank Grimes, as opposed to who I first searched for, which was Rick Grimes, who it turns out is Walking Dead. No, Frank Grimes is who I was thinking of. Um, that's weird that that's on DeviantArt. Was that another one where they, by doing the cropping the 4:3 to 16:9, they cut off the joke? Not that this moment is particularly a joke, but 5 years ago today, Frank Grimes. Um, there, he's got one little thing as he starts to lose it. Yeah, this guy's like just Frank Grimes, basically. But how, I gotta kind of Nick style him up, I guess. Do I make him softer? Do I make him pointier? See, something like a haircut like that, it's like a baby Guile haircut, Baby Guile. Is it just that it kind of always. Well, the problem is that it's a haircut that, like, right? Like, it kind of goes in on both sides, even though it's sort of a high top. And then kind of like that. I think maybe that's what it is, right? Can't be very necky because he is sort of a dork. Necky? Sure. I don't like the feeling of a tie. Well, suspenders. We want to talk about suspenders, right? We'll do the collar. Collar's like a definite. Um, and it's not a polo, so the seam continues. Especially these days, working at a school, he needs an ID. How do you wear a school ID? Is that a clip? Is that a hang? Is that a? I remember any of my teachers wearing a school ID. I don't know. It's not like a name tag. It isn't necessarily a right here. So I think maybe the like hanging style staff and your teacher or whatever, right? You are rank Grimes. Here, can I? How about a nose? Like, I mean, just like sort of anime nose is like that. Simply how I do it. But I always go sort of down and then up into the ears. I'm gonna go like that to connect it to that. Down over there. Glasses. So there's a. I haven't looked at it too closely yet, but when you look at the nose bridge on a glasses, where that bridge is can actually have a big effect on. Wow, mine are so wrapped up. Can have an effect on how they look. So like me, I usually go with the very high ones because it creates this very strong brow effect. A lot of nerdy glasses put it very low. Medium is very medium. Frank Grimes Jr. There's a Frank Grimes Jr. Oh, is that what I'm learning? Hang on, I gotta go to Wiki Simpsons for a second. Learn about Frank Grimes Jr. I've been out. Uh, let's see here. Homer is subject to several murder attempts. I should bother to help him find the perpetrator, who is revealed to be Frank Grimes Jr. He was Homer's mechanic, but no one knew of his true lineage until he revealed it to them upon being cornered. He is an illegitimate child. His dad happened to like hookers, and one of them gave birth to him. Homer killed his father by driving him insane, so Jr. is trying to avenge his death. He also becomes more infuriated in each passing moment he shares with Homer, just like his father. With all assassinations unfoiled, Jr. was arrested on the way by Springfield police on stilts. He said that he must kill Homer. Let's see here. First appearance, the Great Louse Detective. Okay. Well, I guess I'll have to watch that episode now. Good learning. Here, for this guy, let's just give like a very medium nose bridge. And we'll go more rectangular with the glasses because that's a little less, like this character doesn't need to be full on nerdy. Maybe we'll just go like a softer jaw like that. Right, and go down and down. Alright. Are you still seeing this? Hey, what's up? Be over here. Well, I mean, if I'm working over there, I could just bring you to where I am. That's simply all. Now we have that. Also bring this up in. I didn't make that tall enough for around his head is, but that'll be the thing. Yeah, it should actually be that. Yeah, it's a little better. He's just kind of a guy. It's just staff like an infection. No, gross. There you go. That's dank grind for you. Dank rhymes. He doesn't need a name. One of these will unfortunately become canon due to laziness. Maybe fortunately. See, he's got those eyes that just kind of say like I'm kind of serious, but really I'm just bored. Like you can like being a teacher and not still not like having to go to work and do your job every day. Oh, he's the kind who would absolutely wear a t-shirt under a proper shirt. Like that's good. Dink rhymes. No, it should be grind. Dink G rhymes. Ugh. What time is it? 7:30. I can do some of these. I did spend a lot of sort of uptime face energy on figuring out where the farmland was or could possibly be. So now I think I've just got enough in me. Let's do. I mean, let's do. Oh wow! Because my overhead camera is mounted to a beam, when people walk through the room upstairs, it makes the camera wiggle. That's good to know. All right, that explains that. Um, I can do this one because this is sort of the cleanest one. I'm like just rewriting that. This one I need to sketch a hand on. Don't feel like that. I might be able to do him, and because we just worked on rank, dank rank, dank and rankin, but dank's ranks. I could probably do this one since this will be more or less a. This is just poof smoke clouds. Off. There you go. Done. Oh. Yeah, I want to say like, oh, why am I so lazy when these things are so easy? But laziness is not real, and there is an answer why I put these things off when they're so easy, and it's far more complicated than I have the energy to deal with at a moment like this. This is why I go to therapy on Fridays. Everyone has their own struggles. Try not to judge. I think it's okay to judge. I think it is ill-informed to not be ready to forgive often. Yeah, there you go. Now, do those lines make sense like this? No. Do I care right now? Also, no. Yeah, it starts to make sense. I'm in a mood where I don't want to just go on top. I want to make it all feel right. Maybe I'm not so much in the inking mood, so much as I am in a sketching mood. Could be. Wow, I forgot. I use this as a song for my morning alarm for a very long time. So when I hear it, my body reacts. Not indiscriminately, not inadvertently, automatically, really. It was a good song, honestly. What I've done here, what I've tried to do here is he's got the one leg on the ground, one leg up. You can see that here, right? So this was a very early attempt at doing that. Here's the problem. I still have trouble with that sort of level of force. So I'm going to say his butt's there. Here's this. His leg is forwards. His foot's going to be up there. His other leg's going to be like down here. All right, that's for mine. to remember not to start drawing the grenade because it's not here in this one, it's in this one. Which honestly, right? Because that's like the only part that'll be different over there. So we just sort of, and then puff. I'll just copy paste him underneath. There you go. So what we're looking at here, right, is that it'll be one will be on this. I guess I'm just doing this now. I guess I found my energy, right? That thumb will be out. These will be over here. And also all of this is coming out of the bag, which will be there, and have connection strapped there. I want to see that it says smoke, I imagine. Whatever. I'm going for it. I'm tired. And the ring. Oh, right, and I wanted to add the here. That's where the doors are. Then really these windows over top should be symmetrical. But also I want to add the exit sign. Now, will I do that handwritten or in font? I'll start by doing it handwritten, and then if it's too gross, I'll clean it up in digital later. I suppose is the answer. Oh gosh. Okay, well, his back will be against the wall like that. Right, and I'll be there, and I'll have his butt, and that, and here, and then shoe will be also against the wall. Honestly, like, for, it's, the only thing really wrong with this one, I think, is where, like, his neck comes out of his back. It's a pretty important thing to get wrong, I guess, though. I should readjust this, just so I know I'm getting my back right. Yeah, that'll look good. Right, because he'll have this, up and over, and there we go. Yeah, that's better. It's already better. Yeah, why not? Oh boy. All right, so this is calling that the hairline, which means the eyes should be a bit more down here. Okay. And because of where all that is, it's kind of like this up, bonk. Yeah. Okay. Bonk? How does the bonk help? Right, we're also changing this pose, is the other part of it, right? Let's say he's got his hands on the wall. He's got his bag on him. Let's say he's got one hand on his back, because that'll actually help keep some of what the pose used to be. Okay. I'm hungry. Did I have breakfast today? I didn't have breakfast today. I had a couple of cookies. That could also be what's going on. No, mom was making dinner. I might end a bit early so I can go address that, but looking at where all of that is, still be able to get it like this, and this will go here, and this will go here. Hands will go. Right. Yeah, that's looking like character. This will. Okay, that's gonna go there. Looking over here, I think there would be like a sort of here, here. There's gonna be a little hole like that. Would there be? I don't know. Is that what I'm putting there? Yes. Moving on. Yeah, because all that's thick. See here. I do like to give him thick lines for the glasses because it just helps sell face direction and all that. I believe the rest is all thin line. I love this freaking background though. Thin line. Excuse me. Right. Y'all are seeing this. Y'all are seeing this. There would be like a leg split right there. That's actually where his back ends. Closer to it, at least. Yeah, that already reads really well. I'm so happy most of that hand is hidden behind the pants and bag. So I want to do. I feel like trying to do faces where I'm going to mess up, but at the same time, I'm allowing for mess ups because my current level of ability with mess ups is better than my level of ability back then. All right, let's here. I just need a reminder of what vertical looks like. A lot better. I still can and can't believe that I subconsciously did the um Wolf 3D title screen for this panel. There, there, there. So this one will be here. That's better. Uh, it would be sort of a baseboard. Let's do it this way first. That would probably go the other way, actually, right? That goes up, that goes in, that comes out. We'll worry about the ceiling in a minute, though, because it'd be like this. So the ceiling itself would probably be up this way. The actual corner of these bricks is probably going to be set in front of those, which is why I was doing it like this, because now our vertical will be a little in front of this. I'm going to bring this sideways. There's a little bit of a thing. Okay. Again, back then, my sense of like perspective wasn't terrible. My sense of it, my like, final execution of it, my sense of it, not bad. Those, no, that's wrong. Those are outward doors. They have push bars on them because of accessibility standards. Um. Oh, right. Doors have the big like kickbox guard at the bottom. I mean, you need to put in this much attention to something like doors here, right? Because the doors are one of three main characters in the scene. You know. Okay. You know what? Let's put here. Twanging into my soul. How would I ever survive? these are windows, which the way I show windows is the little reflection flash lines. Because they're on the same plane, they all share reflection lines. Right, and now like ceiling tiles. Huzzah! And the other thing that happens here is that part of how you can tell that the doors are one of the key characters is because the vanishing point is on them. So there's a lot of things about the, a lot of perspective lines are fucking right at it. And we feel like, oh, it's about that. Okay. Let's see here. Which ones are which? Let's say it's this one. It's also this one. This one and this one. And then it'll be about here, here. Right, we're getting, oh, brick wall, yeah, all right. But actually, I almost say this is getting a little too detailed. It's actually drawing attention away from, other characters and things in the scene that actually deserve more attention. But also, whatever, we're here. This is what I've done. S and M. And you can't see the rest, but it almost says smoke. That's foreshadowing. Not a lot of foreshadowing, but it's foreshadowing. Oh, that's what's missing. The whole. There you go. Better. Happens. Um, Here's the thing. That's like everything except for the detail lines on him, but I think that's where I'm gonna color for now, because like I said, I believe dinner is waiting for me, and I'm surprised I made it this far. This might be one of the rare occasions where I do finish this page off camera, because I'm definitely in the mood. Like, if you put on a podcast right now, I'll finish all of the unfinished pages I have. That's a big promise, but it might actually happen. No, it's not true. I gotta write a Patreon page before I do that. Speaking of, I'll have all this stuff set up. You're hanging out on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're doing. I think I put it down for a chill out stream, which I don't know. I got some games that have been sitting like at the top of my backlog that I haven't even touched, so I just want to next week we're just gonna sit around, pick your feet up, play some stuff, maybe catch up on daily missions and some games or something like that. I don't know. I haven't really decided yet. New New Demon Week is scheduled to go up Monday. Don't forget to come back and check out everything Joe's doing. Just finished the secret case files, secret files 2. On Tuesdays, more Pathfinder Kingmaker on Mondays. Afterlife is coming up. Plans are in the making. 16, 17. Don't forget about that. Get notifications for everything on the Discord server, link below. Also, archives and more co-op on YouTube, link below. And if you'd like to help us keep doing this, Patreon and/or Coffee, we have set up, link below. That would be great. I would love to get out of my day job and do this full time between the art and the game design and stuff like that. If you want to know more about the rest of all the stuff I spend my time on, go check out the Patreon post coffee in like a day or two when I've written it. All right, that's gonna do it. Thanks for hanging out. One time I'll be there too. And until next time, take care of one another. We'll see you later, everybody.